Welcome to the Reed Report. Appreciate you guys for taking the time to hear me out. And today, of course, you see the score. You know what game we're going to talk about because you already see it. And it's mainly about just a back and forth between Rex Ryan and Micah Parsons situation. I wanted to see what happened there because I saw a clip that Micah Parsons responded. I hadn't seen it yet, so I'm going to react to it in real time. So the Dallas Cowboys, of course, played the Philadelphia Eagles Sunday, and they lost. You see the score, 34-6. Lost the game 34-6. And of course, it was announced that Dak Prescott will be out for the remainder of the season. But even before then, and I'm looking now, the Dallas Cowboys are 0-4. Even before then, the team was struggling. They weren't looking good. I didn't have expectations for them coming into the season. I thought they would win just 9 games, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that. I was honestly just over it. I was just over the Dallas Cowboys hype. You saw them the last 3 years winning 12 games, and 2 of those 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, they won the division. And they were not able to, first time around, Mike McCarthy's first year, they lost to San Francisco at home in the wild card round. And then the following year in 2022, they beat Tom Brady. It was Brady's last game. They beat Brady in the wild card round, the Buccaneers, and they went on to lose to the 49ers again, this time in the divisional round in San Francisco. And then last year was just it. I'm not a fan, but I do pick them, and I did pick them to get past Green Bay and to maybe get some revenge on San Francisco. But Dak looked as good as ever towards the end of the regular season, where he had some MVP considerations, but that was Lamar Jackson's award. And then you saw them go into the playoffs hot as ever, and they go home where they had this overhyped 15-game winning streak at home or something. But when you go back and look at the opponents they were playing, they were not quality opponents. And of course, they went into the playoffs at home and they got destroyed by the Green Bay Packers. I mean, when wasn't even close, wasn't even funny. It was funny, but it wasn't even close. And this year, it's all out the window. It's like, all right, man, this team's done. 3 straight years of 12 wins and not even a conference championship appearance to show for it. They're done. And now we see everything starting to fall apart. See Dak is out. He'll miss the rest of the season. And then you see this game right here. You see Cooper Rush come in. A lot of people like Cooper Rush because Cooper Rush did some good things a couple years ago when Dak was out for 4 games. But then I look at this right here. 13 completions for 45 yards. Of course, Trey Lance got some action. And it just wasn't good. And then you look over here. They turned the ball over 5 times. Now, in the beginning, it looked as if this was going to be a defensive game because both teams honestly were trading turnovers at first, and it looked as if. And of course, at halftime it was 14-6 Philly, and you just saw a close game. Dallas, okay, Dallas got a chance. Philly may pull it out, but Dallas is going to keep it tight. These are division games. These type of things happen. But no, Dallas ran away with it in the third quarter. Never looked back. Saw Trey Lance get in there, and now the Cowboys are 3-6, and then we have this post-gamer right here by Micah Parsons, and we're gonna see how this all took place. I'm not sure what was said, but I know it's been trending, so let's look at it together.
First thing, getting back and having the impact that you did today, what did it feel like for you to be back out there on the field and making plays?
Honestly, it felt great, I felt the energy on the sidelines different, being back with the guys different.
First game back, I want to say since, which game was that where Micah got injured? Which game was that?
You could tell the guys felt the energy that I was bringing, but I just wanted to bring some juice to the team. And I felt for the most part, defense played a pretty good game.
You guys came in on defense saying you knew with a backup quarterback in the game, you're going to have to give it everything you got to me. Was that the mentality going in? Did you feel that way too?
I felt like we just had to give our best because we know this is a rival game. Jalen Hurts, that offense is so explosive with the weapons they have. But, I think the mindset was, to kill them birds, really. Like I said, I believed in Cooper Rush. I didn't care who was at quarterback. Our defense, we got to do our job regardless.
Marvion said that you provided the spark. You and him flying around and getting some things done. It lifted the whole defense. Talk about that.
Yeah, man, that's little bro, man. I had to sometimes. I told Zim, I said, sometimes you got to let a pit bull go. And sometimes you got to know when to leash him back up. So, as I'm getting a little older, but still being wild, pit bull, I got to leash him up sometimes. He wants to give it all. You got like a true warrior spirit, man. I think eventually I might want to hop back and play linebacker again just so I can play with him. I love the energy he brings. He's such a special, I don't even want to say kid because he played like a grown man. But he's somebody I hope I play with for a long time.
You see some Micah Parsons in him?
Man, I see greater things. I think in sense of where you would hope that people that you kind of, I don't want to say I look up to him, but how he plays, the motor, the relentlessness, man. I hope he's greater than me in all aspects of this game. That's something that you hope for all your fellow teammates.
Being one of the leaders on the team, what do you say? What do you say to this group to try to keep hope alive to get things back?
Yeah, we had a great message in chapel this week, man. You got to be the light. Even when other sides of that offense, light isn't shining as hard as, past, that offense has always kind of shined brighter than us, and we kind of needed their juice to big us up. We got to be the offense's light this time. Every time we had a turnover, I looked at the guy and said, we knew some bad going to happen. That's where we at with this. So, but we got to be the light. We got to hold them to 3. And, I think they earned one good drive. Before half, I give them that drive, but, I feel like some things gave them some aspects of the game gave them those other touchdowns. But, overall, I'm happy for these defensive guys, how they played. Obviously, you want some plays back, a couple of those penalties cost us, but I'm happy in the direction where we're going.
How's your ankle feeling?
Right now, I'm juiced up, so, I'm probably cool, but I might be in a boot tomorrow.
Hey, Micah, how demoralizing was it when you got the fumble on the 6 and you weren't able to punch it in and take the lead, settle for a field goal, made it 7-6?
Hey, like I said, be the light. You can't let it get to you. Understand that, our quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I think Dallas actually forced both those equal turnovers in the first half, and they came away and they kicked field goals. And I think there was one time where they picked up Hurts and they ended up punting. So they definitely had a chance early.
Now, things ain't always going to be how you expect it, and you kind of just got to be the light. And I just sideline bringing the guys back up. It's all right. We got to do our job. We just got to get the ball back. So, it's one of them years where, like I said, it's challenging. But we got to be the light for everybody.
Where were you when you heard the news about Dak? What was your reaction? And with him out, do you have to be more of a leader on game day? Yeah,
for sure. I think this team needs a heart, a soul. Obviously missing Dak and his energy, the things that he brings to this game. As I try to do that for our defense, I got to do it for the offensive guys too, and play harder and do everything I can to build this team back up.
What was your reaction?
Obviously devastating. Anytime you lose your starting quarterback that, you kind of banking on, it hurts everybody.
And just as you're coming back, he's going out.
Yeah, just as I'm coming back.
Mike's on the final year of his contract, so outside there's, of course, going to be questions. What's the sentiment inside the locker room, and what do you tell people who are wondering about whether McCarthy will be your coach next year?
That's above my pay grade about if Mike is coaching again next year.
And of course, these are the comments that got everybody going right here, saying that's above his pay grade. So we're going to finish this out. It's only about 30, 40 more seconds, and then we're going to hear about what Rex Ryan had to say, and then Micah responded.
But, all coaching aside, Mike can leave and go wherever he wants. But the guys, I kind of feel bad for guys like Zach Martin and guys who might be on their last year or on their way out, because that's what I wanted to hold the trophy for. You know, you want to win games and do great things with those type of legends who put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did. So those are the kind of guys that I have so much sympathy and hurt for.
You guys were 2-2 when you got hurt. You're 3-6 now, and seemingly well out of the playoff picture. How do you contend with the feeling that the season is lost?
Be the light, even when it's darkest. Light up, bro.
Now the part where he said, Mike can leave and go wherever he wants. I don't take issue with that. I'm confused on what he meant by people like Zach Martin, who I remember when he was a rookie, feeling for them because this could be, his last season. But I don't get the part where he said those type of guys, that guy's put in more work than Mike ever did. I think that's the part where I'm lost at. It's like, why would he say that? But let's hear what they had to say the very next morning, which was Monday.
Here we go. Eagles, Cowboys, rivalry renewed. It wasn't a good game, but that didn't mean there wasn't all kinds of drama. First quarter.
So we're going to try to skip ahead.
I really have. And, who the hell Micah Parsons think?
All right, let me see what
hold the trophy.
What he had to say.
Wait, what is your reaction to that?
I'm just saying.
Brady, I've never heard anyone say anything remotely like that after a game. I really have.
Why do they act as if every comment said after something is the most egregious thing they ever heard? Like, oh, I've never heard anybody say anything like that after a loss. Never heard anything. It's like, dude, we've heard the worst. Stop it.
Yeah. And, who the hell Micah Parsons think he is talking like that after a game? Bro, you've been missing all these games with the injury. And last time I checked, the head coach is a Super Bowl winning coach. And I know the season hasn't gone the way that everyone is expected to go and all that. But for you to sit there in the locker room right after your team gets pummeled and to just undress your head coach in that manner, see, that's what's going on with all these podcast boys out here in the locker room.
Okay, he's showing himself now. He's showing it. It always has to go back to the players' podcast. He mentioned that Micah has missed game with injuries. Yes, he was hurt. He missed game because he was injured. I don't get the big thing on how that's a knock against Micah Parsons. And now he's going back to the podcast. When Micah didn't even say any of this on his podcast. He said it after the game to the media. Now I'm starting to get triggered because these emotions right here just seems like they're for nothing. And of course, Rex Ryan is going to get going, but now I really want to hear what Damian Wood has to say because it's ridiculous already.
Everybody wants to sit there and they want to, spout and say all this type of stuff. There used to be a time when there was a little bit of respect, a little decorum in the locker room because at the end of the day, it was about we didn't do enough. All of y'all got your asses kicked. Okay, you gonna go out here and talk about your head coach, basically your head coach not working, not doing anything to try to prepare the team? I just think it's a bunch of BS, man. I really do. We can sit here and laugh and all that type of stuff and be here in shock, but that's disrespectful what Micah Parsons did to Mike McCarthy in that situation because I know, again, it's not the results that Mike McCarthy wants, but I know that man is busting his ass every single day to try to go out there and get a win, and to hear one of your star players come out there and say that. Yeah. Come on, man. I can't ride with that.
That's total BS.
He said all he said was that he can leave and go wherever he wants. I'm not against that. I understand what he was trying to say. Mike is going to get another job if Jerry Jones decides to pull the plug. Mike can coach well into his 70s, 60s, 70s, or whatever. But Zach Martin can't play into his mid-30s, 40s, and 50s, and 60s. The part about the working, that's the part where, okay, you got me there. I'm like, I don't understand what he mean about, he's not working. They put in more work than Mike McCarthy ever has. But going to the guy's podcast, you're just showing you what you truly feel now. And this is always the angle that you want to take because he has a podcast. It's like, accept it. Draymond Green, all these, they have podcasts. accept it. This is the new norm here. Well, let's hear what Rex has to say.
Yes, you're exactly right. And look, coaches are there some days 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
For 2 or 3 days at least during the week. The hours they put in it's unmatched. Mike McCarthy, he doesn't deserve this damn comment. He doesn't. No coach does. Look, there's some horrible coaches out there, but none of them deserve this. The kind of work that they put in as coaches, I'm just telling you, I don't know, most players know that these dudes, you can forget about it. You're giving up family time. You're giving up all kinds of stuff in your life, and you're going to get some ass sitting back. I don't care how talented he is. That is absolutely BS. And if you would work half as freaking hard as a damn coach does, maybe you'd be able to play every damn game. Maybe your team wouldn't just be a bunch of punks and lay it down every damn week like you're doing. How about being a damn football team? You're going to sell your damn coach out?
He looks like he's acting to me. I'm sorry, but it just don't feel genuine. Just don't feel real at all. He's looking for one of those Herm Edwards type moments to go viral and a week. You know what I'm saying? One of those things that you just gonna go back and play. It feels so forced. I'm not buying this. The work hard comment, I am on board with that. But this little rant, I ain't buying this. Let's listen.
It's a crockish, you know what?
Yes. I think I understood the beginning. Well, first of all, I completely co-sign both of what you said. At the beginning, I think if what he's saying is, well, Mike McCarthy can continue to coach in his life if he wants to, but for the players like Zach Martin, this is going to be the end of their careers. If that's the point he was trying to make, that Mike McCarthy's career doesn't end with this season and Zach Martin's does, maybe I'm even giving him too much credit, that might have been what he was trying to say. But then he loses you forever, and I mean that literally forever, when he says, who's done more here than Mike McCarthy has ever done. That's just obviously beyond the pale. It's well beyond decorum. Everything you just said, I triple co-sign.
They have no choice but to tear it down. Cowboys.
Yeah, I hear what Greeny's saying. I hear what Greeny's saying, but what I think Micah meant was that he's talking about just the realm of the Dallas Cowboys. He's not talking about overall. We know Mike McCarthy's a champion with Aaron Rodgers 14 years ago, he was 13 or whatever. But he's just talking about the work that Zach Martin has put in with the Dallas Cowboys. Zach Martin is a Dallas Cowboy legend at the end of the day. Never won a championship, never got to a conference title. Championship game. I think his rookie year was 2014, where they had one of the best teams I've ever seen. That offensive line, DeMarco, Murray, Tony Romo, Dez, them dudes were just playing, balling out of control. How they didn't win the Super Bowl, Dallas Cowboys things, but he meant with the Dallas Cowboys. That's how I'm taking this. That's what I think Micah Parsons meant. But I do feel like Rex Ryan is just acting here. We're about to get into what Micah Parsons had to say to defend himself, because you always got to give a man a chance to. You can already tell he about to go in. You always got to give a man a chance to defend himself, and we're gonna hear what Micah has to say on his podcast that Damien Woody so much, just had to feel that he just had to throw in there for some strange reasons. So let's hear what Micah has to say.
And at the end, a guy like Woody, right, a former player, he's a Super Bowl champ, he should know the significance of, one, throwing out someone's injury. Like, I wanted to get injured. Now, that's blatant disrespect.
Thank you. That part right there, he just said that. He threw out the guy's injury as if that's Micah's intention. The team was 2-2. It's not like the season was lost when Micah got hurt. They were 2-2. Like you said, you're a former player, man. Throwing out somebody's injury, and again, adding the podcast. It's like, come on, bro. But let's hear what Micah got to say. This is Micah this time.
Never missed a game in my career. Not college, not high school, not even to about 4 or 5 weeks ago to injury. To say that I'm just missing games because of injury, like it's just some injury after I suffered a significant injury playing the game that we love. Someone who's been around teams and legends at that can say, like, that's how I know we all have to see through the BS of what these TV analysts are trying to do and, you know, provide us and basically take words I never want.
And that's why people like Micah got podcasts. So they don't have to run to these TV people who can just misconstrue words. They can have their own platform to share their perspective, and they can clean it up if people take it out of context and not rely on the big media to clean it up.
Once through, or even intended to throw Mike McCarthy under the bus. Like I said, he's one of the most winningest coach. He is a Super Bowl champ. I never once brung up his past. And the question that was asked was about here in the Dallas Cowboys, did I see Mike McCarthy in our future? And I said, that's above my pay grade. So never once did I ever intended or wanted to reflect on Mike McCarthy's career because I always knew it was a good one. I've always had a great relationship with Mike McCarthy, and I never even put that in question. And for a guy like Rex Ryan, I just know he wanted to coach the Cowboys. Like, I'm perfectly happy that we have Zimmerman, because if we have a guy that's willing to go on TV and provide this type of nonsense, imagine what he could do to a locker room. Like, that's just honestly just outrageous to me at the end of the day. Like I said, man, when you play football, all coaching aside, and you can look at college, you can look at even the pros, coaches are, you know, their careers are way longer. You know, they can decide to take a better job.
Like I said, I hadn't seen this, but that's exactly what I was saying. This is my first time hearing what Micah Parsons has to say without even saying this. Exactly. You got Bill Belichick. How old is Bill Belichick?
They can move on. You kind of see that a lot from DCs, OCs, head coaching positions. Sometimes better job openings just open up. And you truly never know. You never know how the dice is going to roll with coaches.
Mike McCarthy's 61 years old.
But when you talk about guys you consistently going to war with, man, like guys that I seen Tyron and Zach barely can walk throughout the week.
Bill Belichick, 72 years old. But anyway, let's hear what Mike has to say. Bill Belichick's going to be back on that field. Micah is putting it into perspective that I understood. I understood exactly what he was saying. But they want to come blast him because he's the Dallas Cowboys, going to get views and all of that. It's the Cowboys. So they just purposely, in my opinion, took his words out of context. Because now I get it. Even the working harder than Mike ever has. I believe that Micah was putting that in the context of with the Dallas Cowboys. Zach Martin has been there for 10 or 11 years.
Take a tour, go out there and play, you know, being half a man basically, and giving us our best effort. So when you see those type of things, you see guys pushing through injuries, pushing through just so much difficulty it is to play in this league. Yes, 100%. Every time I'm going to always choose the brother that we're going to bleed with, we're going to work with, because in the end, you know, it's only a small group of us, you know. There is no politics out there on that football field. I understand what he meant to the Dallas Cowboys organization, because I'm only worried about what happens at the Dallas organization, man. And, you know, it truly bothers me how much negativity that we choose to put out there. Because not once did I wanted this quote to be a negative moment. I always want it to be a positive light and shine light on guys like Zach Martin, who may or may not be a Cowboy next year, but is going to be a Ring of Honor guy, a Hall of Fame guy, and that just know that he just added so much value to the Cowboys that will be missed.
Yeah. Like I said, I picked up on what Micah was putting down. I understood what he was saying, but as I was doing this, I did see a clip of Shannon Sharp. Well, Stephen A had something to say as well. You know what? I don't even want to see theirs. But yeah, those are my thoughts about that. As we can see the score one more time. Well, like I said, Dallas season lost. They will not be in the playoffs this year. I don't see them making the playoffs this year, and we can just look at the playoff standings. But again, I really do think they took Micah out of context. He said it, and I understood what he was saying. But to go, for me, like for Woody and Rex Ryan to go on TV with all that, vitriol or whatever, all that, that fake passion, that does bother me, because you can see right through that type of stuff. It's like, dude, come on, bro. Understand what the young fellow is trying to say. Don't just use this opportunity to say, oh, this is the Dallas Cowboys. Let's make a viral moment that they're going to keep playing back on ESPN for years to come. Let's get a Herm Edwards type of moment in there, which was a legit one. Not something that was just scripted. But here are the playoff standings, as you see in the AFC. Got Denver would be in today. Cincy, I still think is going to get that spot. And then over here, where we want to be in the NFC, Detroit. You see Dallas is way down here. Don't sleep on my Panthers. I'm telling y'all, do not sleep on my Carolina Panthers. And speaking of the Panthers, before we get out of here, I did see something interesting. When I say don't sleep on the Panthers, I take that lightly. I don't really know. I think we're gonna make the playoffs, but I did see something interesting. As you remember, 3 wins. 3 wins by the Panthers this year so far in 10 games. First win was against the Raiders. And what happened after that win? That was the game that Devontae Adams has decided he's had enough. He wants to be out, and I believe that was the last game he played for the Las Vegas Raiders, who are currently in the same spot in the AFC as the Panthers in the NFC, 15th. So Adams was out of there. And then the second win of the season, they beat the New Orleans Saints. And what happened after that game? They fired the coach. Cam Jordan took to Twitter, like, man, we just lost to the Panthers. I'm like, dang, losing to Carolina really that bad?
I would guess that we don't see Daniel Jones play another down for the Giants. That would be my guess right now. Because Brian Daboll's tone yesterday was different than it was in other weeks. It was always Daniel Jones is our starter, Daniel Jones is our starter, Daniel Jones is our starter. And then yesterday, we're evaluating everything. And we're evaluating everything in our bye week. And we have the worst record in football. And Daniel Jones has a $23 million injury guarantee. And just as we saw Russell Wilson and Jimmy Garoppolo be benched last year and Derek Carr the year before to not risk those players getting hurt, I think we're looking at the same thing with Daniel Jones right now. I think that when they get back from the bye, they'll turn to Drew Lock as their restarting quarterback. Daniel Jones will be put on ice as insurance. And my guess today would be that the Daniel Jones experience time in New York is over. Because they can't risk, I don't believe, having a guy out there right now with a $23 million injury guarantee that you're not going to be committed to next year.
Yeah, man.
Is Daniel Jones still your starting quarterback going forward?
Yeah, we're gonna spend a lot of time here watching our tape and evaluating things, and we'll do that as a coaching staff over the next week here.
That's a little bit different, Brian, than the yes that you give us to that question when we ask it every week. So I think, to be clear, everybody's going to assume that means yes, you're at least considering a change. Is that fair?
Well, I would say we're evaluating our team at the bye week.
Definitely. I saw that game. I saw that Carolina. Of course, I'm a Panthers fan. Carolina Giants game. I woke up early to see it, and Daniel Jones missed a lot of throws. He missed a lot of throws, and I'm of the mindset that Brian Daboll is a good coach. I don't think he should be fired. I mean, unfortunately, in situations like these, the coaches do pay the price, but you could see his body language on the field where he was just like, dude, like, and they went to commercial and came back, and he's still a live shot of him just like in disbelief, just like how did you miss this throw? How is this happening? You just saw it. But I just want to end with that. The Panthers, the Carolina Panthers, I don't want to hear what Shannon has to say about this, but the Carolina Panthers seem to have done it again. First it was Devontae Adams, then it was Dennis Allen, now it seems like it's Daniel Jones, and we got the bye. And up next, if the Bills don't do it, we're coming for that Kansas City Chiefs undefeated streak. Be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will talk soon. Peace.